Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Average Movie Review Podcast. Okay, if you are not watching Maul Shadowlord, you are wasting your time. All right, today's May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Um, this has to be one of the best Star Wars shows I've seen in such a long time. But in all honesty, it's just so fitting that they would have put the finale on May 4th. Absolutely genius level marketing on their end, too. Um, this show these last two episodes that I just saw, I'm sorry, I just literally finished it, so I might sound like I'm crazy or something, or like I'm not making like sense in my sentences, but I am absolutely floored at how amazing this show is. Um, Last two episodes were absolutely incredible. Okay, we see Maul, we see Daki, we see Devin working together, fighting together against the Inquisitors. Absolutely amazing fight sequences. Some of the key moments for me in episode 8 was the fact that I realized like Maul, and again, I'm gonna say this now, but then in the next episode, he made me hate him. But in this moment, in episode 8, I really liked him, and I'm like, he's not a bad guy. But then he does something in episode 10, and I'm like, okay, he's still him. He's still an asshole. But in episode 9, like while they're trying to get past or jump across the acid or whatever it is, he is he doesn't go until his entire team goes. One thing about a lot of villains is they don't have loyalty in them, in the sense that they don't care what happens to their subordinates. They could care less if they died. But he is one of those characters, unlike a lot of other villains, that like cares about his subordinates, cares about who works for him. And like he made it very clear, like he told Rook or Cross, right? Cross, get across, like literally get across the bridge before he goes, right? His other brother or cousin, whatever it is, also died saving him. Like they're loyal to him to the core, whoever works for him, because he is loyal to them as well, which is something that like you don't see in a lot of villains, but you also don't see in the bad guy realm, that they're not very loyal. But in that entire fight scene, just seeing them synchronize, literally fighting together, again, you just never see what do you call it, like a villain and a hero fighting together often, but like when you see it, it's such a beautiful thing to see too, because like you see a red lightsaber fighting beside two blue lightsabers. Like it's a Jedi versus the Empire. It's or a Jedi with an Empire. Like, it's crazy. Like I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but it's absolutely wild to me that um that they would do something like that. Like it's just so incredible to see, and they're working together, they're in sync, they're fighting together, and that entire fight sequence just over the vat of acid was absolutely amazing. Close calls, close quarters, and you just see how talented they are as well. Again, the music too. I heard, like, I don't know how to explain it, but like the Maul's background music is basically the Jedi or like Luke's score, right? Like his heroic score, but just like a little different. Like it kind of sounds like it's about to be the regular Star Wars score, and then it turns into something a little darker, which I love, and I just love how they show that too, or like how it comes off of during like fight scenes and stuff like that. um but again, absolutely amazing fight scene. And then they're leaving, they get across whatever they've lost. Maul's lost pretty much his entire team. Devin acknowledging that, and then them walking across, barely making it out alive, to be quite honest. And then Cross going up ahead and looking, coming back into the shadows, and then getting pulled back into the fog, only to reveal that Darth Vader is waiting for them. Fucking incredible, man. Just incredible presence. Once again, no matter how you see Vader, whether he's animated, whether he's in a real live action, however he is presented, he has so much aura. Like, honestly, like, I don't know what else word to use. Like, he commands the screen when he's on it, and he does they just make him so terrifying, and it's like, you see them getting ready to fight, and I'm like, in my head, I totally forgot that probably he doesn't know who Darth Vader is because he doesn't know it's Anakin. But in my head, I thought, okay, he knows it's Anakin. I'd love to hear them talk to each other, and like I just want to hear their perspectives, like like a conversation in the next episode. And we go into the next episode, and I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna like there's gonna be a little discussion, but it goes right into fighting, and they're going off, right? All three of them are fighting, and once again, it proves how powerful Anakin was, how powerful of a Jedi he could have been, but he turned out to be a lord, like a Dark Lord, and one of the greatest Dark Lords that ever lived. Really, one of the greatest imperial asset ever. To be quite honest, like Darth Vader is one of the greatest villains ever in, I think, in overall history. But the way that he fights, the power that he puts in, like they are struggling, they are putting so much effort into every swing, and he is effortlessly swinging and barely like using, like I would say, like maybe 25% of his power, because to him it's nothing, and he's fighting two, I would say, like two really well trained, I guess one being a Jedi and then one being Maul, and then like literally like half trained Jedi. Absolutely phenomenal fight scene, and then it ended right, and I was like, "Oh man, is this it? Like that's all we're gonna get? They're just gonna run away? It's gonna be some like them fighting or whatever, right?" It wasn't anything crazy. I was like, "Okay, whatever." And then they cut to the Lawsons, running and all that shit. It's like, okay, it's fine, like I'm still invested. And then they come back to Maul, Daki, and Devin kind of walking through and like talking strategy. What should they do if they come across him again, or how do they stop him? And then they send Devin ahead, and then in like a second later, he pops up out of nowhere. He just puts his hand through a wall, and he tries to grab, like Darth Vader, of course, tries to grab Maul, and like it's terrifying. It's honestly terrifying how freaking crazy this man is. And like he just shows up, and they're fighting again and again. Maul is asking him, "Who are you? What are you? You're not an Inquisitor. You're not normal. Like who? Like how are you this powerful?" Right? And Maul's strategy is like, you have to use your rage. You can't fight him without using his rage. And they are fighting, and like I remember, and then like they have to use all their power just to push him. Like, you know what I mean? They got like two pushes on him, and like I know that pissed him off. That pissed the fucking shit out of him. And he's just effortlessly terrorizing them, right? And Devin is fighting the Inquisitors. I love the scene where Daki throws her or gives the lightsaber to Devin, and Devin uses, goes dual wield and like literally owns the Inquisitors. Which is kind of crazy to me, considering the fact that she's not even like, she's just a Padawan, and she's like literally fucking them up. Like, kudos to her again. And we're fighting, and I was like, oh my god, we're getting such amazing fight scenes. I was so happy to see him fight. I wish he had spoken up. I wish he had said Maul's name, or like or hinted of who he was, because I would have loved to see how Maul would have reacted. But again, we don't. It doesn't happen in the episode. But he is like the fight scenes are just absolutely incredible. And then and then Maul does something that all villains do, right? Like he realizes that he can't beat Darth Vader alone, I guess, and that he needs to he wants Devin as his his Padawan, basically, right? Is to train him or whatever. And and like he does something like a bitch move, and he pushes Daki towards Darth, and he leaves Daki to fight Darth by himself. And it's like it's insane if you think about it. Like he leaves him to fight Vader by himself, and Daki is like pressing. He knows that he can't do it himself, but that man, he puts up an amazing fight. He even gets a lick on him too. And I have to say, he is a very well trained Jedi. He never gave up, right? And he fought right to the end, right to the fucking end. And Maul knew that the only way to convince Devin was to let Daki die, or at least see him die, so that she feels that rage. And that's exactly what happens, right? And he manipulates that. And again, that's the part where I go like I was really rooting for you to be kind of like not a good guy but like a decent guy, but you just turned out to be a straight jackass for that. I was like, that's crazy. Because the truth is they might have put up a good fight. Daki could have lived. But it all makes sense that, this is how it was supposed to be. And what's crazy to me is also the fact that like, you know, I really do wonder if Obi-Wan and Darth Vader actually fought, like really fought to the death. Like instead of in uh not the Empire Strikes Back, sorry, A New Hope, like of course at the time they didn't have the CGI, so it wasn't really something that I think even George Lucas thought that they could do, and like they hired such old actors too, right? Like how can you really have that old man fighting? Like you could do it in animation, but you can't do it in in live action. So I think it would have been a very interesting take to see them fight to the death, like to see him actually kill Obi-Wan or something like that, with like a proper fight, though. Of course, I think it would have been very, very interesting, because in this world at this moment, there isn't anyone that can really fight Darth Vader, from the way I see it. Like you can get a couple of licks, but you can never kill this man. I don't think there's anyone that's comparable to his power level. I know like a few people have gotten close, but I don't think there's anyone that can actually do it or put up a good enough fight for him to actually be like, holy shit, like I'm in trouble. And this show once again proves that like he is one of the most powerful beings in this world at that time. And again, it's incredible his presence on screen, what he does, and how he's portrayed in this universe. It's just absolutely amazing. But going back to like the whole point of the manipulation and Maul, and then Maul using that to give or to using Daki's death as an excuse to show Devin that the only way that you can succeed here is you have to use your anger, and then her using the red lightsaber, even though she used the Jedi stance, and I believe it was the Obi-Wan stance in that one. I think that's when Maul saw it and was just like, that looks familiar. Right, it kind of threw him off a little bit. It probably reminded of him losing his legs, and he was like, "Oh shit, nah, here we go again." Right, and then again, Devin, pretty much fighting the Inquisitors and giving them a run for their money. They're not even that great, to be quite honest. They were losing to a Padawan, and she was killing them. I'm not gonna lie. If she had a little bit more training, she probably would have owned their asses. But she put up a really good fight there. And then unfortunately we had to see Lawson die. Saving his son again. Another emotional moment that hit. It actually hit. It wasn't like something where it's like, oh, okay, whatever, he's gonna die. No, I actually felt something. I was like, damn, this is very sad because he doesn't deserve to die in this case. He was such a good character, and it's sad to see him go. Sacrifices that had to be made, and two very important figures died in this series, which was of course Daki and Lawson, two kind of father figures basically, dying, and now it really depends on their children to decide which path they take, whether it's a path of revenge or whether it's a path of you know forgiveness and understanding. Where I feel like Lawson's son might be able to do that, where he might join the light side, whereas Devin is now going down the dark side, right? Fully ready to become um, Darth Maul's trainee or Padawan or whatever they call them. I forget what they're called. There's always two, right? So a master and a servant. But again, it's insane, and I really hope they get a season 2 because this show is absolutely incredible. I can see this show going for like 7 seasons, to be quite honest, and I would watch every single one of them. Absolutely incredible show. This was a 10 out of 10 finale for both of them. I'm thoroughly like impressed, and I'm thoroughly happy. I enjoyed myself watching this so much. This was so good. I was glued to the screen, legitimately glued to the screen, watching Darth Vader again on screen. And the only thing that it made me feel like was like, we need a new Star Wars movie. Like, we need an actual Star Wars movie with like Jedi and like the Empire and all of that. Like, we need a new bad guy. Like, Kylo Ren was good, but we need another Darth level man. Like, we need another fleshed out story like this, because the connection we have with Vader, I don't think we didn't have with Kylo Ren. Um, we, like the way that his story was so fleshed out, it made us feel connected to him. Whereas Ren's story was like, okay, whatever. Like Ben's story was whatever, but it didn't really connect us in a way it should have. I think personally, like I still enjoy Kylo Ren. I think he's still a really good villain, but nothing beats Vader, right? Vader's presence, and I think that's what we need in the new Star Wars, whatever they decide to do. I know the Skywalker saga is finally finished. However, we need something like that again, something a little bit more interesting like that. Whether it's a different character, whether they decide to go ahead with Rey and continue this series and saga, which I hope they do. I hope they bring back Boyega and Finn, and they give him the proper ending or the proper storyline he deserved. He deserved to be a Jedi for sure, 100%. I would love to see a story between Rey and Finn where maybe Rey goes bad or Finn goes bad because of this situation. So it'd be very, very interesting to see how that works. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the episode. I'd love to hear from you. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Was it good? Was it worth it? Did you like the series? And I'll catch you on the next one. Have a wonderful day, guys.